Dinosaur Adventure Land in Lenox, Alabama, February 16, 2024. I never dreamed I'd make it this far. If I'd have known I was going to live this long, I'd probably have taken better care of myself. But anyway, well, thank you for joining us. We're the folks who believe the Bible is true. And we're on a whole bunch of channels. We're on TikTok, Kent Hovind Official on Rumble, a whole bunch of channels on YouTube, Evolutionist's Worst Nightmare, Dr. Kent the Science Gent, and Genesis Baptist Church, and Dr.Dino. We're on Odyssey, Kent Hovind Official. They're all listed on Dr.Dino. And Joe and Brighton and Joseph told me to be sure to mention we're on Facebook. How many followers on Facebook? 86,000. I don't even do Facebook. Who does it? We do it. I do. You do. Okay. Use my face and. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm not even sure what Facebook is, so I'm sorry about that. Right? I just don't have time to keep up with everything. Anyway, we're an old-fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, radical, chicken-eating Baptist church where God gets the glory for his creation. Tonight, February the 16th. Now, we are straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles. Come visit. Got plenty of visitors today. Good to have you guys here. We're right off I-65. Take either exit. Type in Lenox, Alabama, and your computer will laugh at you. You say, you're kidding. Nobody, you can't get there from here. You got to start there and go somewhere else. We believe the Bible is the inspired word of God, okay? And we're supposed to be ready to give an answer. How do you answer the skeptics and scoffers who teach, what they want, what they believe, billions of years, etc.? I try to accomplish three things in my seminar I've been doing since 1989. I want to strengthen your faith in God's word. I believe it's true from cover to cover. I tell people, if you watch my whole video series, at the end, you're going to say, wow, the Bible's true. Then about a week later, you're going to sit up in bed in the middle of the night and say, oh, no, the Bible's true. This affects everything. Yeah, it does. Okay. Secondly, if you're not saved, I'm going to try to get you converted. Tell you right up front, I'm after you. Okay. I want to get you saved. Number three, if you're saved and you're not doing much for the Lord, I'm going to make you uncomfortable. There to go. That's my goal. You know what I'm shooting at. So if you don't like it, change channels. Okay. So let's see. We can help us stay open for free. Join our 777 club. I like what you're doing. I'm going to support you for $1 a day. Okay. Give up. What would that be? 2 cigarettes or something? Or I don't know. Nobody smokes, by the way. The cigarette smokes. The person is the sucker. That's all. Okay. You can go to drdino.com and get all the list of all the places we are and how to get a hold of us and make any donations if you'd like. No super chats on YouTube. Any checks, go to CSE, Creation Science Evangelism. So we've been talking about how old is the earth? How old is it? Well, textbooks in school say it's billions of years old. Somebody's wrong. Bible says it's about 6,000 years old. The receding moon, the moon's leaving us, says it's less than 1.4 billion. Can't be 4.6 billion, guys. The slowing spin of the earth says it's not billions of years old. The ice caps all formed in the last 400 years. We talked about that several weeks ago. Every Friday night, we do a different evidence that the earth is not billions of years old. Oil and gas from the biomass that buried in the flood is only 4,400 years old. So that the oil pressure in the ground indicates it's not millions of years old. Tonight, Earth's magnetic field is decaying. How many have ever used a compass to tell which way is north? You ever done that before? Okay. I'm an Eagle Scout. We used to had to navigate by a compass. Today, just GPS. Nobody knows how to use a compass anymore. Or a map. Map, what's that? Kids say, what's a map? Okay. The Bible says, speak to the earth and it shall teach thee. Okay. Earth, how old are you? Thus saith the Lord that created the heavens. God himself formed the earth and made it. He established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. When God made the earth, he made it with a magnetic field around it to protect us from radiation. This magnetic field is amazing, okay? Not all planets have magnetic fields. The 4 gas giants have extremely strong magnetic fields. Earth has a moderately strong magnetic field. Mercury has a weak one. Venus and Mars have almost no measurable fields. Maybe Earth is special to be inhabited, like God said. Okay. Do all planets have magnetic fields? Not all are created equal. Venus and Mars do not have magnetospheres at all. Okay. Generated by Earth by the motion of molten iron in Earth's core. Inside the Earth, they think the core of the Earth is liquid iron. And because it is spinning, it's producing this magnetic field. Okay. And that protects us from radiation from the sun. Nice thing to have. Good thing we got a magnetic field or we probably all die. Okay. Origin of Earth's magnetic field remain a mystery. The existence of a magnetic field beyond 3.5 billion years ago is still up for debate. Well, Jennifer, it's still up for debate with me whether the Earth is that old or not, okay? Let's see, that's MIT. National Radio Astronomy Observatory. What causes the Earth's magnetic field? Well, the Earth's core contains conductive material such as iron. When exposed to an electric current, can produce magnetic fields. Earth's magnetic field is believed to be generated by this mechanism. Electric currents are thought to be created by convection currents due to heat escaping from the core. What causes Earth's magnetic field? Is created by the movement of molten iron in the Earth's core. This movement of molten iron creates a magnetic field, which then interacts with the flowing charges to generate an electric field. Okay, no argument out of me. Earth's magnetic field explained, space.com. Our protective blanket helps shield us from unruly space weather. Earth's magnetic field, known as the geomagnetic field, is generated in our planet's interior and extends out into space, creating a region known as the magnetosphere. Okay, let's see. Earth's magnetic field is generated by the BIG-DINO process. According to National Pornographic, for a planet to generate its own magnetic field by the BIG-DINO process, it must have the following characteristics. It's got to have a planet that rotates fast enough, right? Interior has to have a fluid medium. It has to be liquid, like liquid iron, okay? Interior fluid must have the ability to conduct electricity. Okay, that's important. Some things don't conduct electricity. The core must have an internal source of energy that propels convection currents in the liquid interior. No argument out of me. British Geological Survey, an overview of Earth's magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field is generated by the fluid outer core by a self-exciting dynamo process. Electrical currents flowing in the slowly moving molten iron create this magnetic field. What is the major cause of Earth's magnetic field? Answer, it's believed the major cause is the core of the Earth. The Earth's core is made of both solid and liquid iron. So we got this magnetic field being created by the Earth's core. I agree. And the solar wind blows our magnetosphere out into space. Let's see, this way on the drawing. Let's see. Anyway, the solar wind blows it out. That's why you get better radio reception at night. You know that? I was involved in ham radio for a while as a kid. My dad got me into that. I loved it, learned a lot about radio and electronics and stuff. And just a hobby I had. I was going to try to become a ham operator. Ended up just being a ham. But the magnetic field is blown out away from the Earth, so at night you get a lot better signals. Try it sometime. Especially at midnight, you get the better signals. But I'd rather go to sleep, okay? So the Earth has this magnetic field called the Van Allen belts around the Earth. And sometimes particles hit that thing and make them light up the sky. How many have ever seen or heard of the Northern Lights or the Southern Lights? My wife wants to see those. Someday I'm going to take her up to Alaska. I preached in Barrow, Alaska, and I've been all over a bunch of places up there. I love seeing the Northern Lights. Gorgeous. You'd almost think it was designed if you didn't know better, okay? Let's see. Earth's magnetic field explained. There's all kinds of videos about this. If you want to go down deep, stay down long, come up dry, you can watch all the videos, okay? So the Earth has several layers to it. The crust of the Earth, which we're walking on, is 10 to 15 to 20 miles thick, okay? Then you get down into some other stuff down below. The Earth has different layers to it, like an onion, okay? The origin, structure, and fate of Earth's core is of intense interest because the core generates the planet's magnetic field, which shields the Earth from charged particles ejected by the sun and helps keep the planet's denizens safe from too much radiation. It's a good thing we got that magnetic field. We'd all be in trouble, okay? ScienceNews.org. Understanding how the magnetic field evolves is extremely important for life on Earth's surface, says hard name fella, a seismologist at the Australian National University in Canberra. The entire core, 6,600 kilometers across, consists of two main parts, a liquid outer core and a solid inner core. Okay. Iron-rich fluid circulates in the inner core. Some of the material cools and crystallizes, sinking to form a solid center. That interplay generates Earth's magnetic field. No argument out of me. I agree. But, hey, Rex, you know in the Science Center, day 5, we got the bicycle wheels with the handles. You get them spinning. Yeah. Grab me one of those, would you? Okay, I'll need that for tonight. When this swirling dance first began isn't certain, But some studies suggest it was as recent as 565 million years ago. Well, that's only 500 million. So the Earth's magnetic field just started 500 million years ago, but the Earth is 4.6 billion years old. And life got started before that when the magnetic field wasn't there and there was a lot more radiation and everything died. See, for a long time, nothing lived until they finally came alive. The dance has faltered from time to time. Okay. A common question in the magnet industry is whether or not permanent magnets can demagnetize or lose their strength. While magnets can lose power over time in the absence of external influences, an industrial magnet alloy should hypothetically remain magnetic for hundreds of years. Okay. Can a magnet lose its magnetism over time? This alignment is damaged over time, principally as a result of heat and stray electromagnetic fields. And this weakens the levels of magnetism. The process is very slow. However, a modern samarium cobalt magnet takes around 700 years to lose half of its strength. Now follow, it's called the half-life. Well, however much strength it has, you wait 700 years, it's got half that much. You go another 700 years, it's got half the half, or a quarter, then down to an eighth, then a 16th, then a 32nd, then a 64th, and a 128th, and who cares, okay, 256. Okay, what causes a permanent magnet to lose its magnetism? No permanent magnet is completely permanent. Well, then why don't you call it something else like, temporary? Okay, heat, sharp impacts, stray magnetic fields, and age all conspire to rob a magnet of its field. But they're telling me, how old is the Earth? 4.543 billion years old. Wait a minute. Magnets lose their strength over time. This is no surprise, okay? Magnetic field. Hundreds of cool science experiments with magnets and iron filings. We did all this when I taught physics. Kids couldn't wait to come to class to see what we're going to blow up or burn down, There's probably still spots on the ceiling over where I used to teach, burn spots in the tile. Here's a cool magnetic experiment. Put a bunch of iron shavings in a cup upside down with a magnet on top, and it'll grow a tree upside down. Who cares? What's the half-life of Earth's magnetic field? The half-life of the dipole energy is 548 plus or minus 7 years. Wait, Earth's magnetic field loses half of its energy in 548 years? That's the half-life, and then it's down to a quarter, and then an eighth, and then a 16th. National Pornographic. Earth's magnetic field is fading. According to Earth's geological record, our planet's magnetic field flips on average once every 200,000 years. Hold it. They think the magnetic field can flip over? The time between reversals varies wildly. However, the last time Earth's magnetic field flipped was 780,000 years ago. Well, let's talk about that tonight. Computer models indicate the strengths of Earth's magnetic field declined about 10% over the last century. Well, it already lost 10% in the last 100 years since we've been measuring it. So, what can we make of this? Earth's magnetic field is constantly changing, and the way in which it changes. ICR did a great article on this, the depletion of Earth's magnetic field. Okay? They said, it's known that the Earth's magnetic field is decaying faster than any other worldwide physical phenomena. Muchas gracias, El Salvador. How's my Spanish?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't know me neither. Yeah, I grew up in East Peoria, Illinois, and my neighbors right across the fence were from France. They came after World War II, and they had a beautiful garden. They spent all their time in their garden, and my brothers and I would always hit the baseball in their garden. And we'd have to sneak over there to try to get the ball back, and they would yell at us in French. So I took French in high school to find out what they were saying, and they never taught me those words. Anyway, I still don't know what they said, but we got the ball back. A comprehensive ESSA technical report gives the value of Earth's magnetic dipole moment, the vector which gives the strength and direction of the magnet. Ever since Carl Gauss, they measure in magnetic strength in Gauss, made the first evaluation in 1835. They've been making evaluation every 10 to 15 years. Each evaluation required accurate worldwide readings over a year or so, a special mathematical reduction to wash out the noise. These reliable data clearly show relatively rapid decay. The report stated that on a straight line basis, the Earth's magnetic field would be gone by the year 3991. But decay is exponential. In this case, the half-life is 1400 years. So I think it's pretty well established that the Earth has a magnetic field and that it is leaving. It's falling apart. Everything else. How many of you are falling apart as you get older? Anybody like me? Okay. Okay. It says the present rate of loss is 7 billion kilowatt hours per year. The Earth is running out of that original energy it had in its original magnetic field. Is Earth's magnetic field presently in decline? From NASA. During the next 150,000 years, it rose to a maximum strength and then began to decline. Notice how fast the magnetic field recovers after it reaches zero. In some cases, less than 10,000 years. Presently, Earth's magnetic field is weakening in strength 5% every 100 years. And you want me to believe it's billions of years old? Earth's magnetic field is fading. It was 10% weaker than it was in 1845. What does that mean? Earth's magnetic field is fading. Today it's 10% weaker than when the German mathematician Carl Friedrich Gauss started keeping tabs in 1845. The declining magnetic field. NASA, okay? I don't know anybody who argues about this, okay? The magnetic field is here and it's getting weaker. Earth's magnetic field is weakening 10 times faster now. Whoa. From Live Science. Protects the planet from huge blasts of deadly solar radiation. New study shows how rapidly Earth's magnetic field is changing. New study was shown in the most detail, yet how rapidly Earth's magnetic field, which protects us from solar winds. Oh, let's see. Earth's magnetic field is weakening 10 times faster than thought in the Western Hemisphere. Astrobiology magazine. Earth's magnetic field is not about to flip. Okay. Are we about to have a magnetic reversal? Almost certainly not. Since the invention of the magnetosphere in the 1930s, an average intensity of the magnetic field has decreased about 10%. We know from paleomagnetic records. That's code word for the geologic column, which does not exist anywhere. Okay, but that's how they check this. That'll come into play later on. Here it is right here. Since the invention of the magnetosphere, we've seen it decrease. We know from paleomagnetic records that the intensity of the magnetic field decreases as much as 90% at the Earth's surface during a reversal. What's this reversal they're talking about? Why does Earth's magnetic field flip? According to the geologic record. There they go. They're stuck on stupid with that geologic column. It does not exist. Earth's magnetic field could take longer to flip than previously thought. New research suggests a polarity reversal of the planet takes 22,000 years. National Pornographic. Earth's poles will eventually flip. So what then? Now hold it. Here's what we know. Earth's magnetic field is getting weaker. So it cannot be billions of years old. It puts about a 25,000 year max on the age of the Earth just on the magnetic field, unless you got some mechanism to flip it over. But if the core is spinning and that's creating the magnetic field, try to flip over a spinning object. One of the science experiments we do here with the bicycle wheel, we have the kids say, okay, kid, can you flip this over? Yeah, no problem, okay? Then you get it spinning. Now flip it over. Whoa, you'll feel it's much harder to flip. I don't think the Earth's core can flip over. There's laws of physics against that, okay? Or carbon dating can't work because the magnetic field getting weaker allows more radiation to get in, which changes the amount of C14 in objects. That's another reason carbon dating doesn't work, or potassium, argon, or rubidium, lead, or all those dating methods, okay? Lead 208, lead 206. Earth's magnetic strength has declined 10% in the last 150 years and 40% in the last 1,000 years. Some creationist scientists believe there are magnetic reversals, and they happened during the flood of Noah. When the fountains of the deep broke open, the crust was, in chaos, and some of the rocks that had a magnetic signature locked into them might have got knocked all over the place and ended up backwards. That would be one explanation if they find magnetic reversals in these rocks. Physical mechanisms for reversals of the Earth's magnetic field during the flood. If you want to read more on that, go to Technical Papers, Russell Humphreys on ICR.org. Let's see, right? Institute for Creation Research. There it is, abstract, ICR.org. Okay. Recent paleomagnetic data supports my hypothesis that Earth's magnetic field reversed itself rapidly during Genesis flood. This is one, some creationists believe this, and it may be true, but it puts a time limit of not billions of years on the Earth. Let's see. Paper showed specifically how convection upflows in the electrically conductive fluid of Earth's core would produce rapid reversals. Analysis shows the upflows had to be faster than 3 meters per second and larger than 5 kilometers in diameter. Each reversal would decrease the strength of the field slightly. All the evidence indicates that Earth's magnetic field has continually lost energy, and the maximum age is 9,000 years. Answers in Genesis also did a great article on this. If Humphreys is correct about these predictions, the Earth's magnetic field, the Earth can only be 8,700 years old, the magnetic field. Okay, Earth's magnetic field clearly indicates the Earth is not billions of years old. Whether it's reversed or not is another story. We'll talk about that. But if your theory requires billions of years, then you better get a new theory. You're going to pull the pacifier. Real science is going to take away time as they're passing, which I have right here, guys. I know you evolutionists are and anxious for me to do this. What? How could an amoeba turn to an elephant? Oh well, given enough time. If that doesn't work, add more time. That'll do it. Yeah, that's your passy, guys. I know. I'm going to pull it out. To avoid the problem of the magnetic field getting weaker, they've come up with the idea that it reverses polarity. Other creationists, like me, do not believe there's magnetic reversals in the rock, only areas of stronger and weaker magnetism. How could the liquid core of the Earth begin to spin the other way? This violates the known laws of physics. There is no known mechanism that could reverse rotation. Unless something hits a large impact, something crashes into the Earth to spin. What would it take to get the Earth spinning the other way? How big of an object would have to hit the Earth that is spinning? You want to hit it and get it going the other way. Don't you think that would leave like a dent or something? Try that with a bicycle wheel. Get it spin and try to flip it over. You'll see. Okay. Forbes magazine. The stars in the night sky have their preferred direction of rotation. Once spun up, another piece of fundamental physics comes into play: inertia. Inertia tells us objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless there's something else that caused the object to slow down. So what is going to reverse the magnetic field, guys? They don't give a mechanism. They just say it must have happened because it's locked into the rocks. Well, that doesn't prove that the core of the Earth reversed its spin. It can't do that. Newton's first law of motion: an object will not change its motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Okay, well, how did you get the Earth to spin the other way? I don't believe there are magnetic reversals. I'll show you in a minute, okay? Newton's second law. The rotational inertia of an object is that object's resistance to change. A lot of people have that too, resistance to change. It's angular velocity. If it's spinning, it has a tendency to keep spinning until a net torque acts upon it. It's another manifestation of Newton's second law. What is rotational inertia? Khan Academy. It's a property of any object which can be rotated. It's a scalar value which tells us how difficult it is to change rotational velocity of the object around a rotational axis, the North and South Pole. When a mass moves further from the axis of rotation, it becomes increasingly more difficult to change the rotational velocity. Earth is about 8,000 miles in diameter, so 4,000 miles from the center. That's a whole lot of weight. How much does the Earth weigh, I wonder? A whole bunch. To try to get it to reverse its spin and go the other way, guys, stop and think about it for a minute, okay? Venus is the only planet that exhibits reverse rotation, spinning the opposite direction from its orbit. All the planets are spinning one direction. Venus spins the other way. Maybe there's another one that does. They're not quite sure yet. It spins the same direction it always has, upside down. There are theories, but no certainty why Venus rotates counterclockwise. I think God did it that way just to laugh at everybody when they come up with their dumb Big Bang theory. If it all came from a Big Bang, shouldn't everything be spinning the same way? Because the initial object had to be spinning in order for all the fragments to fly off to be spinning. That's another long story. Okay. The sun's gravitational pull on the dense atmosphere. That might have done it. Okay. Here's my theory. The pre-flood world had a canopy of ice above the air, and that's what protected the Earth, probably held up by the magnetic field and or by air pressure like an inflatable building. Under the crust of the Earth, water breaking forth would scramble the crust. So it may have magnetic anomalies from that. Walt Brown has the best video I've ever seen on this. Let me get Walt Brown here. 4 or 5 minutes of play of his thing. If you haven't seen the hydroplate theory, I highly recommend it. If you can find a copy of his book, good luck. I don't think it's in print anymore. In the Beginning, Walt Brown, excellent book on what caused the flood. Where'd the water come? Yep. It is on Amazon. Yeah, what, $4,000 or? Yeah, oh, okay. Where did the water go? Are we supposed to watch that circle, Joseph? Does that make it go faster?
I think so.
You think so?
Trace it with your mouse. I think you lost signal.
What
You might have to refresh. I think your computer lost signal.
what does that mean? Say that in English, brother. What do I have to do?
I don't know. Refresh the computer or something.
Refresh the computer, like spray deodorant on it or something, or what?
The page you're on.
Oh, tell me in simpler language. What do I have to do?
The little half circle at the top left.
I can't hear you. What now?
The half circle at the top left.
I'm still lost. Come do it for me, brother. The half circle at the top left.
Refresh button. I don't know what it's called.
Click on your, hit that button
Hit that
on
button
this page.
on this page. I don't see it on that page. Still don't see it on this page.
Escape full screen.
Escape full screen.
Now, yeah. There you go. You see it?
Now do what? Hit that little circle there?
Yep.
Wow. Now we just lost everything. Everybody died. Connect to the internet.
You're not on the internet. That's the problem.
How do I do that? I thought I was. Huh. Well, you have to do it on your own, folks. Google Walt Brown hydroplate theory, and you can watch it for yourself. His explanation of why we have there are no magnetic reversals. There's areas of stronger and weaker magnetism, and that's it. Okay. Let's see. Yep, I'm not on the internet. Here we go. What do I do? It's available, it says,
Okay.
but I'm locked out.
Yep.
Connect automatically.
I changed the password. You're not going to be able to.
I got to give a key. Forget it. Okay. Over my technical ability. Let's just go back to this one. There. Slide number 662. Alt-DV 662. You can watch the 4 or 5 minute video yourself. Walt Brown's hydroplate theory. What?
Tell TikTok this is not recorded. Give them the date.
Tell TikTok this is not recorded. Today is February the 16th. Where's TikTok? Is he on there too? Okay. Hi, Tick. Or is it Mr. Talk, or what do you call him? I don't know. Okay. So anyway, I think the Bible says fountains of the deep broke open. There used to be water under the crust of the earth. When that came shooting up to the surface, the earth cracked up like an eggshell, and we still have the cracks today called fault lines all over the place. And the water would go shooting out along those cracks, shattering the canopy up above, causing it to snow on the North and South Pole, freezing the animals standing up. We covered that on video number 6 of my seminar series. Get the whole thing for $50, 18 hours. Video 6 and more on that. Then, as the water underneath is escaping up through the crack where the fault lines are, it would make the crust of the earth above that slide away from the rising basalt underneath. And so you'd end up getting like wrinkles in the earth, and you'd end up getting a magnetic field that is all scrambled up. The plate, what they do is they draw these lines, nice, neat lines, and say, well, there's magnetic reversals every so often along the mid-Atlantic ridge. No, guys. It's not a nice, neat pattern for one thing. But Walt Brown, I believe, is absolutely right. As the water escaped, it's going to raise the basalt underneath, and then it's going to crack, letting the water come into the cracks. The water going into the cracks in the basalt would cool it off. And hot rock can't store a magnetic field very well. Cold rock can. So what they really were measuring was not magnetic reversals. They're measuring stronger and weaker magnetism. According to Dr. Brown, I believe he's right. There's no place on Earth where on the ocean floor where a north-seeking compass will face south. So as the plates are being subducted under, he covers all that on that video. I wish we could watch that. Okay. Erosion. The crust of the Earth along the mid-Atlantic ridge was bulging up as the plates slid away. And that's what they were measuring, stronger and weaker magnetism, not reversals. Okay. The plates are moving, no question. But that does not prove they've always been moving. It does not prove the rate has always been the same. And students ought to be taught there's other options. They'll say, well, Africa and South America are slowly sliding apart. I would agree, they probably are. Distance is increasing. Therefore, they measure the distance and say, therefore, it's, X number of billion years old. No, guys. You don't know it's always been moving at that rate. What if when the fountains of the deep broke open, everything slid apart a whole bunch in a short time? And now it's slowed down. See, if I see someone headed east on I-10 at going 70 miles an hour, does that prove he started in Los Angeles 4 days ago? No, he might have just got on at the last exit, right? Here we go. There's Walt Brown's picture. The magnetic, what they did, they took the stronger and weaker magnetism as they went over these cracks in the crust that are now filled in with sediment. And somebody drew a line through the middle and said everything below average is reversed. No, it's just below average. It's not reversed. There are no magnetic reversals, only areas of stronger, weaker magnetism. Calling the areas of weaker magnetism a reversal is a lie. I don't think you can come up with a good explanation for how the crust of the Earth, how the magnetic field can flip. I think it's baloney, humble opinion. They drew the line through the middle, and stuff below the line is simply a reversal. It's not a reversal, it's simply the line ought to go down there. That ought to be the line, because everywhere a north-seeking compass points north. No places on the ocean floor where a north-seeking compass points south. The areas are weaker, they are not reversed. That is simply a mistake to call it that, a reversal. Watch that video by Walt Brown. Let's see. Plate tectonic theory, it gained acceptance in 1960s, and it was misinterpreted about these magnetic reversals. People were told that paralleling the mid-Atlantic ridge are bands of ocean floor that have a reversed magnetic orientation. A few places, the patterns of reversals on one side is almost a mirror image of those on the other side. This suggested that the magnetic poles reversed in the distant past, and that molten rock spread away from the ridge and solidified. No, it wasn't a reversal. It was a weaker magnetism because of the hot and cold, because of the water rushing into the cracks. That's all it was. The story is inaccurate. There are no magnetic reversals on the ocean floor. No compass would be reverse direction if brought near the supposedly reversed bands in the Atlantic. However, there is a fluctuation in intensity. Someone merely drew a dashed line through these fluctuations and labeled everything below average a reversal. That was a mistake. This false but widespread notion is why they say we have a magnetic field that flipped a bunch of times over millions of years. This faulty understanding has prevented the formulation of better explanation for these magnetic anomalies. Included the added consideration that many of the bands are not parallel to the ridge, but perpendicular, which cannot be explained with their magnetic reversal theory. So I highly recommend Walt Brown's in the book In the Beginning. He's a PhD in mechanical engineering from MIT. He was a National Science Foundation fellow. He taught college courses in physics, mathematics, computer science, retired Air Force full colonel, West Point graduate, former Army Ranger, and paratrooper. And I met him a couple times, and brilliant guy, typical military bearing, but that's okay. Anyway, plate tectonic. I don't want to get into all this tonight, but often get asked the question, Hovind, do you think the continents were ever together? Do you think South America and Africa were ever connected? I say they're still connected right now under the ocean, aren't they? You think you walk out there and just go, there's nothing under the bottom of the oceans have a bottom to them. Yeah. They make this crazy Pangea map, and all the kids are supposed to learn this. Pangea. Is Pangea a proven fact? Was there a supercontinent existed in the late Paleozoic? It assembled from earlier continent units 335 million years ago. Here's what they don't tell you. They don't tell you they shrank Africa 35 to 40% to make them fit. Did you know that? They don't tell you that Mexico and Central America are gone. Hey, señor, ¿qué pasa? ¿Dónde está Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras? It's gone. Vámonos. Where'd it go, Sergio? Where's Mexico? Say, where'd it go? Where's Mexico? Look at Africa is 11 million square miles. South America is 6.8 million square miles. Don't they look about the same on that drawing? They shrank Africa 35 to 40% to make your drawing, kids, okay? People say, Hovind, do you think the continents were ever connected? They're still connected. Always have been. How can they not be? You see, it's going to be complicated. So you evolutionists, now listen carefully. If you take the water out of the oceans, you will notice there is dirt underneath. What do you mean? Were they connected? They're still connected. Okay. I do believe they're moving apart a little bit, probably still left over from the flood. Now, a 2-mile layer of water on Earth, 2 miles of water sounds like a lot, but compared to the Earth, the thickness of the ocean compared to this globe right here, the paper that covers this globe is about how thick the oceans are compared to the size of the Earth, the thickness of the paper. 8,000-mile Earth with 2 miles, what's 2 out of 8,000? Well, have to have radius 4,000. It's like a layer of paper compared to a 16-inch globe. So we have a continental crust and an oceanic crust. The Earth has a solid crust, not hollow under the oceans. The fact that they look like they might fit together, they say, but Hovind, look at that. South America and Africa look like they might fit. So, look at these buildings right here, look like they would be a perfect fit. That's proof they broke apart 177 million years ago. Oh, those would fit too. Look at that. If you slid them, that would fit. Look at that. Man, a whole lot of these would fit if you slid them together. Doesn't prove anything, guys. The shapes of the continents is a pure coincidence based on the water level. If the water goes up or down, the shapes of the continents changes. So I do not believe the Earth's magnetic field can be explained how it could reverse. I'd like to hear that. I believe the Earth's magnetic field is a pretty clear indicator the Earth is not billions of years old. And the Pangea theory is dumb. We cover more on that on seminar part 6 of my series. Okay. I've got a theory about why the Earth's magnetic field is declining, but it's not gone yet. 6,000 years ago, God made everything in 6 days. The Earth is 6,000 years old, and it's not billion, so it still has a magnetic field. See, Jesus said, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, Adam and Eve? Jesus said that was the beginning. And when you add up the dates found right there in Genesis 5 and Genesis 11, you can make your own chart. The Bible clearly teaches the Earth is about 6,000 years old. Not billions, okay? But you guys want so bad to have billions of years so you have time to turn your frog into your prince, don't you? Evolution requires lots of time, and these little lessons we're teaching every Friday night, I think, are pulling out the pacifier. Now you watch, in the comment section, they will frantically try to defend the magnetic reversals. They know the magnetic field's declining. Nobody argues about that. That means it used to be stronger. And that means there's a time limit, how long it can last. They say, well, yeah, every reversal, it starts over again. Explain to me exactly how the core of the Earth is going to start spinning the other way. Is that an exception to the laws of physics? See, Jesus is going to say to you, Judgment Day, I told you the creation of Adam was the beginning. I made him. You ought to know. God said in the 10 Commandments, in 6 days, the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is. I told you I made it in 6 days. My Bible shows it was about 6,000 years ago. Why would you think I lied? You think your little scientists were smarter than me? It's going to be an awful thing, Matthew chapter 7, when Jesus has to say, depart from me. I never knew you. I'm trying to help you. Those of you guys who've been taught the Earth is billions of years old and the geologic column explains the magnetic field, you've been lied to. There is no geologic column. The Earth is not billions of years old. End of story. Okay, comments and questions, brother?
Yes, sir.
You talk about the priest that lived 140 years after God set the 120-year limit. Well, God did not set a 120-year limit. If you read it carefully, Naz, it said the years of a man's life, let me get the verse exactly, 120 years. I think it's 120 years until the flood comes. It's not saying it's a maximum age for people. It's saying 120 years until the judgment comes. Okay. Next question. Did you know that a future 7-year tribulation period is a misinterpretation of Daniel 9? I didn't know that because it's not. I think it's absolutely correct. It ties in with all the other scriptures. That's why I wrote the whole book on the topic. What on earth is about to happen, for heaven's sake? You can get that on, there it is, $100. That's the video series. Yeah. 21 hours on this topic. And my book and my chart, I put a lot of time and money and energy into this thing. So I'm sorry, I think you're wrong. Daniel 7, Daniel 9, all that ties right in. If you get my chart, they're $10. What on earth is about to happen, for heaven's sake? On the back is all the verses from Daniel that tie in, and Matthew, Mark, Luke. And on the chart is all the, how it all ties together with the 7-year tribulation. We're raptured out at the end. And then we're up at the marriage supper of the Lamb while the wrath of God falls on the world. We come back with Jesus on white horses. This time he touches down. First time he only comes to the clouds, blows a trumpet, we go up. This time he comes down, called the second advent. And we have the Battle of Armageddon. It's all spelled out clearly in the Bible, and I tried to cover it as best I could in my book and teaching on the topic. Okay, Genesis Baptist Church. Earth's magnetic field is known to have varied in intensity and reversed in polarity numerous times. Well, crybaby, you're making that statement. Did you listen at all to what I just preached for the last 40 minutes? Show me how it can reverse polarity. Explain physics. How can it reverse polarity? Tell you what, crybaby, come visit Dinosaur Adventure Land. We'll let you try the bicycle wheel experiment. Try to flip it. You're claiming it happened does not make it happen, crybaby, okay? Go get a bigger pacifier. Go ahead. Kenneth, thank you for being a good leader. Well, thank you, Kenneth. I want to be. I want to help. I want people to lead people. I want to lead people to Jesus, okay? Magnetic field reversal is right up there with flat Earth. Now you're talking. It's absurd, okay? Kent, the Earth's magnetic field flips every 10-ish years. Does the sun? Oh, the sun's magnetic field flips. Does the sun stop spinning? No, I think we'll get into the whole sun magnetic field. I almost got into that tonight, but I got another program I got to do right now on slavery. What channel is that on? Brett Keane. Okay, they're waiting on me for that. So we'll do the sun's magnetic field another time. Okay, no, the sun does not stop spinning. Let's see. What's that?
That's all I have on that.
That's all you have. Okay, if you want to go to Brett Keane, Keene, is that right? Keane. They're waiting on me to come on. Does the Bible condone slavery?
We'll stream it here too.
What's that?
We'll stream it here too.
We'll stream it here too, so if you want to watch. Okay, any questions from our crowd here? Thank you for joining us, and give you guys the tour tomorrow morning. All right, good to have. Where'd you come from? Oh, Mobile. That's not far. Every time I drive to Mobile, I really appreciate Lenox and the traffic around here. We had a car go by, what, a week ago? I love it. Okay. Call me 855 BIG-DINO, extension 3, if you want to learn how to go to heaven. Oh, let's see. Ask inmates with you in jail to call. Somebody's doing a book about me and a biography kind of thing. If you were in jail with me for 9 years and I led you to the Lord, I led 800 men to the Lord, please call 855 BIG-DINO, extension 1. That'd be my secretary, my wife, or extension 0. Okay. And you can tell your story. Say, I was in jail and Brother Hovind led me to the Lord. Okay. Thank you so much. See you on Brett Keane Show.